Hey everyone, welcome to the Be Good and Do Good podcast, a show where we delve into our own unique experiences during our time as missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm your host, Jake, here alongside my brother and co-host, John, and also, special announcement, we have a special guest today, our sister, Briana. What's up, Briana?
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Hi, Briana.
Can't get any more awkward than a long hey. What's up?
Yeah, for those of you listening at home, just really quick, Briana is the second child. So John is obviously the oldest. We've talked a lot about how he is 9 years older than me. Briana is
5 years younger. 5 years.
5 years
younger.
younger. Yeah. She lives with her husband and kids in southeastern Idaho right now. They recently moved into a new house, which is super exciting. And she spends her days being a kick butt mom for her son and daughter. So, Briana, are you excited?
I am stoked. I am nervous. I don't know why. I have a very, I don't know, my confidence level in speaking sometimes wanes and it wavers. So I hope I can get like the spirit across, I guess, both spiritually and just in the spirit of the word, I guess.
Well, if you're nervous, then me and John are definitely not in good shape because we are the self-professed introverts of the family, and I would say you're probably the extrovert, at least the most extroverted of all of us.
I don't.
Well, you were the most. You were definitely the most social growing up. That's for sure.
I wish that was true. I have a different childhood memory than you guys do, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about Sarah because she's going to listen to this and she's going to be like, it's not fair that all my siblings are talking and no one mentioned
Sarah. We'll definitely have Sarah on the podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to get her.
We talked about her a lot too in this podcast.
You have.
And so we need to give her an opportunity to defend herself, especially in regards to all of the stuff, the unsavory things that I may or may not have said in past episodes.
Oh God.
I just posted something on our Instagram, on the Be Good, Do Good Pod Instagram, and she sent it to me. It's a picture. We talked in our last episode about how Sarah, our sister, had sent me a box of donuts from Provo Bakery that she had specially delivered to the MTC. And it said, skip you, in reference to that inside joke that we have with Phase 10 and Dad just saying skip you every single time. She tagged me, or she sent it to me on Instagram and was like, wow, you're not even going to tag me in this. So I feel like, that's definitely showing that maybe
you gotta give
her an opportunity to.
You gotta give proper credit where credit's due, Jake.
Yeah, maybe I'll go in and edit it and tag Sarah. But so I referenced a little bit about last week's podcast. For those of you who haven't had a chance to listen to it, we just talked about our second week in the MTC. A lot of different things, including missionary tie exchanges and devotionals that we got to participate in. It was a lot of fun.
I was going to say, Jake, this whole week, ever since we recorded last podcast, I've had two things on my mind. And it was the I'll Make a Man Out of You, which I've been singing in the car this whole week because it's just been on my mind ever since he talked about Donny Osmond last week. I'll make a man out of you. And the
it
other
did not
thing,
sound anything like this.
No, I know. I can't think. For some reason, I can't think of
it's been on your mind constantly this entire week, but as soon as you decide to talk about it, you can't remember it.
Man,
there we go. That sounds a little bit.
Sorry, I've had like a cold. Anyway, and the other thing that I've thought about is the Kamehameha, which I actually looked up where the reference comes from. You won't. I had to look up the Wikipedia everything, and so you won't believe this, but it's actually in reference to the Hawaiian king Kamehameha. But it is also a Japanese pun because kame means turtle and ha means wave, because the person that made the Kamehameha was like a turtle captain. I'm going to butcher this already. Yeah, he was turtle, like a turtle man. And anyways, And so
what's a turtle man?
man, now I gotta look it up on Wikipedia.
Like a
but-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Like he was
No.
a weird like conglomeration of a man and a turtle?
Now I have to look it all up
I
again.
think you're mixing up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and
No.
Dragon Ball Z.
All right, here it is. Oh no, that's not it. All right, the name Kamehameha, which is written as a Japanese thing, has no meaning in Japanese. It serves as a pun based off of the name of the Hawaiian king Kamehameha I, coupled with the Japanese word for turtle, kame, due to Master Roshi also being known as the turtle hermit, and ha, meaning wave.
John, wasn't that your nickname in high school, the Turtle Hermit?
Oh my god.
Maybe. No.
Oh, sorry, it was right there. I had to take advantage of it. But no, that's cool.
My backpack must have looked like a shell or something. I don't know.
John was one of those kids in high school who ran to lunch with his rolly backpack.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I had a Swiss backpack. To give further clarification, I had a Swiss Army knife backpack.
Oh, I think that's worse, John.
That's worse. Anyway,
you got to rock the JanSport backpack. That's what was really popular when I was in high school.
Yeah. So, anyways, I found out those two things, like where Kamehameha came from, and like I'll make a man out of you. So,
well done. You're nailing that pronunciation, by the way. I'm reading it right now, and I'm like, I'm not even going to try to attempt to say that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, some of you may be wondering, it's all fine and good that Briana is involved in this podcast, but why did they decide to include her in this particular podcast?
Who knows?
Because we love her, obviously, but also Briana had the privilege of serving internationally. Briana, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. What do you want to know? Where I served?
Where did you serve? Like kind of rough years of when you served. Just a little rundown of your mission.
So I served in the Argentina Neuquén Mission, which geographically is located in the southern portion of Argentina. Had I ever heard of it before my mission? Absolutely not. In fact, I don't think I have ever met a single person that wasn't Argentine that has ever heard of Neuquén, really, genuinely. And
Yeah.
I have never even run into a missionary that has served there. Still, I mean,
That's so
I've been
weird.
home. Isn't that weird? I mean, okay, so like, I guess I have seen friends or people that were at the same time as me, but like, I guess there was a brother in our ward that had served there. So I guess I'm lying a little bit, but like I go to school in a predominantly LDS area, or I went to school in a predominantly LDS area, and I still have yet to find somebody that has served in my mission. It's apparently really unique. We had 250 missionaries. I mean, I kind of went during the boom, which I can talk a little bit about that too. So you kind of asked about what times and dates
let's talk about that. Like what so you were one of the first few missionaries that served that was 19, right?
Yes. So I'm going to butcher the times, so I probably should have done my research. But President Monson made the official announcement in General Conference. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was, I mean, okay, except for I can't tell you what date it was. It was it had to be during fall. So October, right? Does that sound right to you?
I remember it being cold.
Yeah, it was October because I remember like the roommates I was with, we were in the dorms, all watching it around a laptop, like very stereotypical. And he made this huge announcement that essentially dropped the age for sisters to serve by 2 years, allowing them to serve much younger. They're still teenagers when previously they had to be 21 years old, which is still extremely young. Now looking back, now that I'm approaching 30, but it was an insane experience. I think the location where I was really enhanced that experience for me. I was attending BYU Idaho, and like I said, I was surrounded by roommates, and friends when we all experienced that at the same time. And I'm not even kidding. It was like the spirit was so palpable in the room. Like it was like instantaneously. If you think you experienced like a weird shift and change in your wards, can you imagine what it's like being in a, you know, freshman at that time? I was 18 years old when I heard that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Our bishop was swamped that afternoon with interviews and meetings and appointments and stuff. Yeah, that's how it was. It was like instant. So I knew pretty much immediately. As soon as President Monson said those words, I knew I was supposed to serve a mission. And the really cool, I mean, experience that I had prior to this, I think really helped prepare me to make that decision.
Yeah, I was reading your blog, and it said that you had been thinking about this long before President Monson had even made the change.
Yeah, so like because it was kind of like several years out. You know, my plan, that would have been a several
you were 18,
year commitment. Yeah, so it would have been like several years of college. And I like have it's so weird how memories work, how like certain ones just stick in your mind and they're like vivid. And for whatever reason, like the way my memories work, it's always like location based. Like I remember exactly where I was when I had the thought, I think I'm going to serve a mission. I was talking to my mom. I was walking on campus and I was kind of joking. And I was like, what if I served a mission? And she was like, yeah, I served my mission and I loved it. I remember her saying that. Yeah. And you guys spoke about this in a previous episode. Our parents are both returned missionaries. And, you know, it's kind of fun because I feel like back then women didn't serve as often, obviously. And so it was kind of fun growing up, having a woman to look up to who served a mission, enjoyed it, loved it. And now she's married to our dad. So that culture is very much alive in our lives still and in her life still. Yeah. So anyways, my experience was it was just like insane. I want to say immediately, I mean, for sure by the end of the day, I knew I was serving a mission. Like I talked to my parents crying. It sounds like some of these memories now are like fading, but it sounds like I talked to you, John, at some point.
Okay, so I remember exactly where. So you said your memories are location based. Well, so I was at the Tabernacle when President Monson had made the change.
Oh wow!
And so I remember getting a call from you, and you were in tears. And I was like, oh my goodness, Briana's going to serve a mission. Because I didn't know that this had been on your mind. I mean, I just remember being really, really excited for you and just wanting this experience for you and knowing like this is going to change your life for sure. Having already served a mission myself. So yeah, I was in the Tabernacle, and which was weird because I was living in Provo at the time. And so this was one of those special occasions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was the preparations for getting first you had to receive a mission call.
Yeah. So I had a really unique experience. I mean, I keep acting like my mission was like very unique and no one experienced anything like me. No one's ever heard of Argentina Neuquén ever. But seriously, like my mission call opening experience is probably, I don't think anyone has ever, I mean, I'm sure there are people, but I haven't met anybody who's experienced it in the same way. It was wild. I was moving out of my dorm. It was the last day of the semester. I literally was moving out of my dorm, like stripped the sheets. My brother John was driving up from Provo to come pick me up from my dorm in Rexburg. Yeah. And since I knew I was going to be moving pretty quickly when the mission call was expected to arrive, I decided to have it sent to my home, my parents' house in California. And so it was like...
They don't want it to get lost in the mail.
Exactly. And that makes sense. I'm a very cautious person, so that's very on brand for me, I think. But, and John, do you remember getting pulled over on your way up?
I don't, did I get pulled over?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So
Are we talking about like this last Thursday, or are we talking about when you? I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, if you want to talk about the most recent, maybe it was like yesterday. No, just kidding.
So it's just that, like, I just remember that, like, timing, you know, the Lord is like in everything. And it sounds so whimsical to say that, but in reality, his hand is in everything. John straight up got pulled over on his way up to Rexburg, causing it a delay to the point where my sister was able to receive the mission call right when John arrived.
Yeah.
And I literally opened the laptop. And so I guess I didn't talk about this, but what I decided, since it was going to my home in California, I decided to have kind of a really cool experience by having my little sister open it for me. It's weird. Like, even talking about it now kind of makes me like a little bit emotional, to be honest with you. But, you know, my sister and I are best friends, and we shared a room growing up, and I didn't know if she was going to serve a mission. And you know, she still has the opportunity to serve a mission, you know, but I am grateful that I actually asked her if she would open it for me and just read it to me electronically. So she received the packet, and she was the voice that I chose to tell me where I was going. And I think, you know, we're bonded for life already, but that definitely was just the best experience to hear her say that for me.
Yeah, so I actually have it pulled up right here. We're gonna share screen right now, and I'll share this video. Get ready.
Mm-hmm. Dear Sister Gonzalez, you're hereby called to serve as the missionary of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You are assigned to labor in the Argentina What do we do? Wait, what mission is it? What mission is it? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. I'm so excited. Yes, you're going to speak Spanish, right? Yeah. Wait, how do you spell it? E-U. Hold on, let me get close. Wait. N-E-U-Q-U-E-N. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah. Very
Love it.
fun. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it brings back all the memories. You see my roommates in the background. I mean, it was real. The best part was that I had my brother with me too. So I was able to experience it with my family. And I think I said, oh my gosh, like 12 times. I actually think I counted that one time. It was very, and you know, you can actually hear me going like hyperventilating.
Yeah, you were already crying before.
I was already crying, for sure.
Were you like surprised, or how did it feel once you finally found out that you were going to Argentina?
It felt right. I mean, did you guys say that when you opened your mission calls? I feel like you guys kind of
I said almost the exact same thing, that it just felt natural. It just felt like obviously it's going to be Argentina or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I was very hopeful that I would serve Spanish speaking. I wanted to learn Spanish so bad. I really wanted to go international too. So it was like perfect. It was perfect. So, and I actually spoke with our dad a week before we opened the mission call, and he told me, you're going to go Spanish speaking. And I was like, what? You can't just say that. How do you know? And he was like, I just know you're going Spanish speaking. So he kind of has a sixth sense when it comes to certain things. He predicted the gender of my second baby. And like, we just kind of have a running joke now that he can kind of see the future. But
funny. I've never heard that before. I guess maybe he has a sixth sense with you, but he doesn't have a sixth sense with me, because he thought that I was going Spanish speaking too. But it's okay though.
It ran out.
Yeah, at that point, I mean, he's already 3 kids in. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, Briana, as you know, we've been talking a lot about the MTC and our first few weeks of the MTC just these past few weeks as we started this podcast. Tell me a little bit about your MTC experience. What was it like? Were you like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Were you super nervous? Like, what was it like for you?
Yes. So I had like just the craziest, best time of my life. Like you mentioned last time, Jacob, it was like EFY 2.0, basically. I never went to EFY, so this, I guess, was my one and only chance. But obviously there's a big difference. It's kind of a joke. But I had a lot of really cool things happen to me in the MTC that don't typically happen to missionaries. One of the really cool parts that I experienced was that I was able to sing in the General Relief Society broadcast. So I got to go on a bus and got shipped to Salt Lake City for the day. And that was always like a dream. I think everyone kind of dreams of doing that one day. And it was the best experience. It was honestly really cool. I shouldn't have even been in the choir. Honestly, they had us, the way they chose was they had everyone, they sent like passed out slips of paper and they said, write down how much experience you have in choir and write down what's the word, not part, right? Part? What part you think you sing. And I was honest, which was good. I was proud of myself. I was like, okay, I have this many years of choir experience. And like, there were tons of sisters, so they're not going to pick me. And they didn't pick me. They didn't pick me to sing. But what happened was they decided they had this big practice and some of the sisters didn't show up. And so they were like, okay. Weird. So they asked some of the girls that were there, which my companion is an amazing singer. Amazing. So my MTC companion was an amazing singer. And I literally told them, hey, I have a companion that's not here. Can she come in place of one of these people? And they were like, yeah, sure. You can bring her along. So I was like, yeah, I was stoked. So thank you to my companion for doing that for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I got to see the prophet. Our goal was to shake his hand. Didn't happen, but I did get to hug the members of the General Relief Society presidency. And I remember the lunch that they gave us came in like these cool boxes.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
So you like literally had to, like you were doing a field trip to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was actually a really cool experience because first of all, those songs that we sang to this day remind me of that MTC experience. And they like some of them. So one of the songs we sang was More Holiness Give Me. And like, I have never like had a huge attraction to that song before. Like I thought it was fine, but ever since I sang it and I sang it as a missionary in the location that we were at, I can't not feel the spirit when I sing it now and just remember the feelings I felt at the time. And anyways, it was just amazing. It was so fun.
More holiness.
We should have known. I love that
such
song.
A great song.
It's so good. But actually the choir director was, fun fact, she was an actress in 17 Miracles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So now when I watch 17 Miracles, I find her and I'm like, hey, I met her. She's cool. But yeah, that was awesome.
I think it's also really cool that you were able to go to the conference center. Like, I guess it would be like a year after the mission call.
Yeah.
Changed,
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
it was cool too, because we all had our name tags on and I got airtime. Maybe we'll have to show a picture of that. I got airtime on the big screen. So
if we can't find the picture, I'm sure we can ask Mom to find it because she was like the most proud mother. I remember I was watching General Conference with her, like just from home, and I think you had sent an email or a letter or something beforehand, being like, "I'm the one that's wearing like the seafoam green like blouse or whatever," and of course. All of the different sisters were wearing like a sea of different colors. And so anytime we saw like a sister that was wearing anything that resembled seafoam green,
we're like, that's her.
Like, is that her? Oh my gosh, is that her? Until finally, you got like a decent amount of airtime, like a few seconds for sure.
And it was a good view of you too, like close up.
Yeah.
And most people don't look very good when they're singing, but you managed to still look pretty decently good. So well done.
Wow, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I'm glad this is on public record.
John, you can edit that part
be
out.
known.
Right?
Okay. Edited.
Yeah, consider it edited. All right, resume right here.
Yes.
I know one thing as well that you've talked about is at least one thing that me and John have neglected to talk about as we've been talking about our MTC experiences is the different like folklore associated with the MTC. I know it was a really big, at least a really big part of your MTC experience, because before I went into the MTC, you were like, okay, Jake, before you go in, you need to make sure that you do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, I've never heard of any of these things before in my life, but
I hadn't ever had that experience at the MTC. Like I didn't know any folklore stuff. So
yeah,
skipped a generation.
Yeah, once again,
maybe it wasn't there 15 years ago. You know, that tree.
Yeah. So when I was listening to your episodes in the past, John called me on the phone and I was like, you didn't talk about the creamsicle tree, John. Like, how can you mention the MTC without talking about the creamsicle tree? But I, as I was preparing, what am I going to talk about on this podcast about the MTC? I was like, well, hopefully maybe someone's listening to this that is going to enter the MTC someday. And I hope you just remember these silly things about it. Number one, there's a tree that smells like creamsicles. And I kid you not. And it's just really cool and it's fun. And I could probably point to where it is. But
do you know where it's located? Like
it's like by the laundry room, isn't it?
Did you find it, Jacob?
I did. Yeah. No, I mean, despite
what's
the fact
your take on it?
I didn't think it smelled like creamsicles. I felt like it smelled like beer more than anything.
She's rolling her eyes at us.
Well,
I should audibly roll my eyes. I'm trying to audibly.
No, like I remember because nobody else in my district knew about it either. And so I was like, because you had told me about it, I was the one that introduced it to my district. And they're like, yeah, I've never heard about this. And I think we were like in the process of coming in from exercise time. We had just played volleyball or kickball or something like that out on that big missionary field. And we walked past it. It's like between the laundry room and like, it's like in the middle, close to the entrance of when you're walking in.
It's like pretty prominent for sure.
Yeah,
it's not like this random tree. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was it wasn't just one, like there was like a few of them that smelled. Maybe I'm misremembering, but like I feel like there was like a row of like 3 or 4 or something as you're walking in, and all of them smelled. I mean, some might say it smells like creamsicles. I thought it smelled like root beer, but like it definitely had a very distinct sweet smell. And I don't know, I was very proud.
I think mine smelled like cream soda. Just kidding,
John. You didn't even. Don't even.
The reason I bring this up is because I'm like, it's fun. You know what I mean? And you might be stressed out when you're in the MTC, overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope you have fun. And actually, I probably want to talk about that a little bit more when I talk about my mission. But for sure, like have fun. And that's just something fun that you and your companion can go do on a P-Day one day. Just go look for that little creamsicle tree. But also, don't drink the apple juice. That's like, just kidding.
Oh, okay. Or the
orange juice. Orange juice.
It was the orange juice, right? I thought.
I thought all the food at the MTC was good.
So there's I don't know. I heard don't drink the orange juice, and it was like passed down through our zone. And I had friends, return missionary friends, were like, don't drink the orange juice. It's just a myth, obviously, but it's fun to just pass that on. But one of the myths that I do remember hearing before I went on my mission was like, oh, if your companion gets sick, you get a cell phone as your companion. And I can tell you at least in my experience, so this could have changed. That's something I should preface with everything I say. Maybe they cut the tree down, who knows? But in my experience, which I never said when I served in 2013 to basically till 2014. So I came home at the beginning of 2015, but my companion was sick and they gave me a cell phone.
So you were by yourself?
I was by myself. Yes.
So
but in the MTC, right?
In MTC, yes, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry, not in
They
your
give you
mission.
a cell phone. Like, I don't understand what the reason, like, so that can call on you and drop in on you whenever, just to like check and make sure you're being obedient, or like, I don't.
No, I think it was just for communication purposes with my companion and stuff, just to make sure. Or so when she could be like, hey, they're discharging me, come get me, so that nobody had to like send a physical person. But yeah, they gave me a cell phone. I don't know if it counts as a companion per se, but like my MTC experience was amazing. I genuinely had so much fun. I spoke about my companion who was a musical talent. She sang in the MTC, like in a devotional. You guys talked about devotional in one of your previous episodes. She was a singer. So I got to sit in the front and I was her page turner. And so you could see my like torso on the Jumbotron. Yeah.
So she sang, huh?
She sang, yeah. Like a solo. And it was, this song, John's gonna sing it. Have you heard I'm gonna butcher the title, but it's Your Kindness Shall Not Depart From My Kindness Shall Not Depart From
My
Me.
kindness shall not depart from me.
I love that song. It's so good. Yeah, that one. Anyways, but since I was serving internationally, John talks about how he was put in the advanced class, which is bonkers to me still. I would like, because that's just that. I wish you could have told them like, wait, I don't understand what's going on.
I mean, I did have conversations with like my MTC teacher and stuff, but it never got to the fact where they were gonna change me out. Yeah.
I was in the intermediate class, which I feel like was appropriate. You guys talked about how we didn't grow up speaking Spanish, but I feel like we did. So maybe we
so Jacob we both say that, but we had experiences, and Dad did try to teach us Spanish.
Yeah, like I have memories of him like bringing out the whiteboard literally and like
bringing out the whiteboard,
teaching us the alphabet.
It wasn't.
I was really young at that. I remember what you're talking about, but for me, anyways, my excuse is I was really young when he was kind of still trying to decide whether or not to teach us Spanish. I feel like most of my Spanish, I mean, I don't speak Spanish at this point, but I feel like most of the Spanish that I do know comes from high school Spanish. Like, Mrs. Martinez.
But I feel like you probably had a good foundation.
No, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely better. It was definitely better.
For some reason, the screen has made her purple.
I forgot to tell you, my camera does this every once in a while. I don't know if you want to hang up or anything, but I'll be purple for the rest of it. I'm okay being purple if you guys are okay with projecting.
I mean, it kind of matches our microphone.
So you guys, it has done this since we got it. It's like every like half hour it turns purple.
Yeah, you can just jump right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to say, if you're a sister missionary, something that I learned is there's a seamstress on call at the MTC. At least there was at my time. And you can get things hemmed, and it's extremely affordable. And I highly recommend it. So I got a lot of like my dresses shortened to make it like more summer friendly. So I recommend, if you're going to MTC and you're a sister, even an elder, you know, you want to get your pants hemmed, your temple pants, those are always needing hemmed. Visit the Seamstress. Sure. I would suggest visiting the Seamstress, and definitely join the MTC Choir. My brothers talked about it. I also joined the MTC Choir, so I'm part of the fraternity that you talked about, Jacob.
It's not a sorority, John. A fraternity.
But it was honestly
fraternity / sorority.
I highly recommend, even if you don't think you can sing, go join the MTC Choir 100%. It was the best experience. And then the other thing I would suggest, if you're entering the MTC, definitely learn how to do some things on your own. My biggest one is learn how to do some laundry on your own. It's funny, I was looking at my mission blog and I wrote down I literally wrote down, as elders were telling me this, these were all elders, I'm throwing them under the bus, as they were asking me these questions in the laundromat. Direct quotes. These are direct quotes from them. Number 1, can I throw my garments in with my whites? Number 2, what's a knit? Number 3, how long does it roll for? Number 4, Does deodorant get stains out? These are all things that I heard, and I'm sure this was just one time that I was sitting in the laundromat. So I would suggest
what is how long does it roll for? I don't even know what that's referring to.
like
how long does it
tumbles? Yeah, like
The
the
tumble
dryer.
cycle.
Yeah.
wait? But
So
what is a knit though? I'm confused. Like, am I supposed to know the answer to these questions? I knew all of them except for the what is a knit? Like, is that like how tightly woven like a shirt is?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
A knit is like a material.
It's a type of
what's
shirt.
A knit? Yeah. So
it's
like your shirt's cotton, polyester. So knit is like a specific kind of material that your clothes.
Oh, what the? I thought it was like the way that it was woven.
Potentially, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just learning all of these things that I should have learned a long time ago.
So, does deodorant get stains out? Brianna's the expert.
Can confirm that it causes stains.
Yes.
Not that it gets stains out.
But I dare you to try it. Follow these elders' footsteps. No, I just think that if you're gonna go to the MTC and you have some time before you enter, learn how to do your laundry. Learn how to. I don't know, learn your manners. I feel like learn how to be a decent human being, open the door and say thank you and please. There's a lot of people who are serving in the MTC. So I don't know.
Something that always freaked me out before I actually learned how to do it was actually learning how to use a gas pump.
That's true, actually. That freaked me out too.
Yeah.
So
I did. I mean, I had done it before my mission, but I had only done it like maybe once or twice.
And not all gas pumps are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Do like that before you go on your mission. Learn how to do a gas.
So in other words, get life experiences for sure.
Cook. Because you're going to be cooking for yourself. Learn how to fry an egg. That's super important.
One of the things that I did on my mission was I fried a frozen burrito.
Oh, yes.
Made like a chimichanga.
I remember you taught me how to do that.
Actually.
John started a tradition in the Gonzalez family. He calls it a chimichanga.
That is essentially what a chimichanga is.
It is
looked it up and like it's
burrito,
just like a Tina's frozen burrito. Well, I mean, the version that we made was a Tina's frozen burrito.
John would like.
I learned that from my first companion.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that in the MTC though. They provide food for
they
you.
Provide.
Don't. Yeah.
Yes. But learn good hygiene. You talked about that, John, at one point. Like,
or the lack thereof.
Wear deodorant.
You never know when you're going to need it to get stains out. So make sure that you carry deodorant with you wherever you go.
All right. Well, Brianna, I think this is a good time. By the way, if you don't know this is the first part of a 2-part episode. We didn't say that at the beginning. So she'll be on with us next week. And we're going to end with your scriptural nugget. What do you have for us, Brianna?
So I chose one. I actually had so many that I wanted to share, and this one kept coming back to me. It really, my mission president shared this with us. It's a very prominent scripture. It's found in Alma 37:6-7, and it says, "Now you may suppose that this is foolishness in me, but behold, I say unto you, that by small and simple things are great things brought to pass. And small means in many instances doth confound the wise. And the Lord God doth work by means to bring about his great and eternal purposes. And by very small means, the Lord doth confound the wise and bringeth about the salvation of many souls." And when I actually came home from my mission, this was like the theme of my homecoming talk. It really like resonated with me throughout the entire experience, serving abroad, coming home, being in the MTC. And I think that the part that I love the most about it is that it invites you to recognize small and simple things. Mm-hmm. And this applies to before you go on your mission. Notice the tender mercies that your family members that are supporting you. Maybe your visa came in quicker than you thought it was going to be. That's small, that's simple. Same thing, it applies to being on your mission. Obviously, you're going to run into miracles daily. And then I'm hoping that this can remind us as returned missionaries, those of us who've never served, everybody, all humanity, that there are small and simple things around us, but not only to recognize those small and simple things, but that this is the part that my mission president taught us, is that we are small and simple things. And I think that really hit home for me, because part of your mission is kind of, I mean, I think it's natural for you to doubt your abilities and your talents and think you're never going to learn the language, or wonder if you're doing any good and you're not getting any baptisms. But I remember thinking, who am I? I'm this girl from across the pond, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, how am I supposed to make a difference here? And I kept thinking I was small and I was simple. And I think the Lord uses small and simple people as well to bring about his work.
I mean, if you think about it, I totally agree with you. Like, whenever you think about a pond that doesn't have any ripples in it, and then a drop falls from the sky into the pond, it creates a rippling effect that just compounds and compounds and affects everything in the pond and makes like waves. You are that one small drop that caused so many great things to happen. And also, I was just gonna say, just a small and simple thing of being able to have a camera that works, even if it is purple.
Sorry, everybody on YouTube, I'm gonna be purple. It's just gonna happen. I hope that's okay. You know what? That's just life.
But it's a small and simple thing, just to.
It looks like you're at like a rave or something.
Yeah.
Cool. But I actually like purple. This is a good color for me.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we'll agree to disagree.
There we go. There's that Jacob I remember.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and close up. Once again, just like John iterated, this is part 1 of 2. We're going to have Briana with us next week, where we talk a little bit more about her experiences as an international missionary. But we did want to end with the question that we have each week for you. And this one's kind of fun. We talked a little bit about MTC Lore, the tree that smells like creamsicles. What else did we talk about? I'm trying to remember.
Juice.
The orange juice. How could I forget the orange juice that gives you the runs, that gives you the Hershey squirts?
Oh my God.
What other MTC lore did we forget
Hershey
about?
squirts.
We want to hear from you guys. Yes. What did we forget about? Feel free to reach out to us on any of our socials or emails. John, do you want to close this up?
Yep. Well, thank you for being with us today. We're happy to have had you here, as we discussed. We're talking with an international missionary, but we talked about her MTC experiences right now. Next week we'll hear about some of her international experiences. But we'd like to thank our sister Briana for being here with us. Thank you. If you would like to reach out to us, you can do so at begooddogoodpod@gmail.com. If you feel like you would rather watch this podcast on YouTube, you can find us at youtube.com/@begooddogoodpod. We'd also appreciate it if you could rate us here on Spotify and leave a comment for us. We'd love to hear from all of our listeners. Also, please share this with all those friends that you have and enemies, like Jacob said last week. Otherwise, thank you so much, and remember to be good and do good.
Good job, Anna.